Animals all over the Arctic are being affected in ways such as losing their habitats due to the melting of Arctic ice sheets. The public doesn't realize that their everyday activities are actually harming the world they live in. Buildup of greenhouse gas within our atmosphere are causing it to warm faster than the natural rate, which eventually leads to the warming across the globe and into the Arctic, in which ice melts faster. Within the past decade, scientists have noticed an overall gradual warming trend in the Earth's atmosphere. Car exhausts release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. With warming temperatures and melting ice, the Arctic wildlife is being affected. For example, polar bears use the ice masses to hunt, raise their cubs, and rest. With the constantly shrinking ice sheets, polar bears are running out of living space, along with harbor seals, who are being pushed out of their homes and forced to migrate to new ecosystems in which they aren't adapted to. With warmer climates comes the melting of Greenland's ice sheet. Greenland's ice sheet melting is causing sea levels to rise drastically. These rising waters are causing flooding and erosion to crops and farmland. Being one of the biggest ice sheets in the world, the melting of Greenland will result in drastic changes in sea level and mass amounts of crop damage. Salt water does not mix with crops. One of many solutions to this problem is boring tunnels through ice sheets and pouring cold water through the tunnels to freeze and thicken the ice. With this operation in action, it will strengthen the Arctic ice sheets. Reinforced ice will need more heat to melt the ice. This is a surprisingly cheap operation, costing only a little under $2.5 million. The World Wildlife Fund is not only preventing ice from melting further, but are also assuring the safety and survival of the Arctic's wildlife. They are establishing networks of specifically managed marine areas to protect life and help it adapt to change. The World Wildlife Fund is also helping by redepositing seawater onto ice sheets to keep the ice sheets constantly freezing. Show a clip from a documentary led by Norbert Rosing, who will show us the wintry world of polar bears and how they're affected by global warming.
But she struggles on. It's not until she hauls herself out of the water that I see what state she's in. She's tired, emaciated, and must find food quickly. Her fat reserves hardly protect her now from the cold. And from my own solitary vantage point, the full horror and reason for her predicament becomes clear. First, she started the summer too thin, and unlike her brother, was unable to hunt effectively. Then, the ice disappeared completely this year, even though we're in the heart of the Arctic. Though some bears are clearly more equal than others, I'm convinced she would have fared better under normal conditions. She must hold out one more month. Sadly, I think it's too much to hope for. Does her fate mirror the future of the entire species? Can polar bears, so long masters of the ice, somehow adapt to the forces of global warming that are changing their environment faster than anyone could have imagined? At the rate at which the Arctic is melting, partly because of too much human pollution, polar bears cannot afford to wait for the answer.
What you can do to help this tragic epidemic is by simply riding your bike instead of driving to reasonably distant locations. Not only can you cut back on gas money spent, but you're also reducing the amount of greenhouse gas you individually produce. Therefore, you're no longer warming the planet. I've converted to riding my bike instead of driving my car to help the environment. The world is our home. Supporting your environment is supporting your future.